Well, what do you want to watch?
I don't know.
Any of these?
No.
What about these?
Eh.
Oh, how about this?
Okay.
Hello, I'm Jessica.
I'm Nikki.
That's Abner. I don't think he's happy to be here.
At least in that spot.
But we went and watched Captain Marvel last night, the latest Marvel movie.
Yes.
Or Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel. Captain Marvel movie.
Marvel, but Marvel. Same difference, same thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you our quick take first on a non-spoilery and then a spoilery.
Yeah. So right here. This is where you'll skip to.
Yeah.
For if you want to miss the spoilers, because we'll do a wrap up at the end too. But overall impression initially, I liked it. It didn't seem cookie cutter Marvel.
Okay.
It seemed a little bit different than Marvel, because usually Marvel movies are
very formulaic.
quip, action, quip. And this one, like, there was humor in it, but it was more like ingrained in the personality. It wasn't like, awkward moment and then let's force some humor to make it less awkward. It felt a little more like a natural.
Well, to a degree, there wasn't the main character wasn't as quippy.
Yeah,
which was nice.
It was just her personality. Which I loved.
Well, it started out more snarky, and then it kind of moved into sass, which was fine because it's her character.
And it was the character growth because of stuff we'll talk about.
Yeah, and it did feel a little jarring at first because you're not used to that thing, but you get used to it pretty quick and you start to like it.
Yeah, it seems to me like a new direction Marvel wants to move in for this next phase, post Thanos thing, maybe.
Possible. It did feel different than other Marvel movies, which was a nice change of pace.
And I really, I don't know. I liked her evolution from beginning to end. I loved the way she looked at the end. Well, you probably saw it in the previews.
Yeah, when
she's full Captain Marvel,
sporting all her powers.
And that I loved some of the side characters. I actually loved the bad guy. Like Jude Law was her mentor, and then the bad guy was just the Skrull, was it?
Yeah,
the race. The villain. You see him at the very beginning in that. Like he was hilarious.
His voice was weird. Like it didn't match. Like it didn't feel.
It felt like I don't know. It was like a British person playing a troll. It was like it didn't.
Yeah,
I guess it's the best way to describe.
He did a fine job later when you get more interaction with him as opposed to earlier. It kind of feels a little bit better, but overall, yeah, it was good. And don't go into it thinking like it's another Wonder Woman. I actually liked it better than Wonder Woman. And that was, for all people out there, oh, it's a strong, independent woman thing. Yes, but they don't shove it down your throat. Like
it's
they do
a strong
in Wonder
person.
Woman. It's a strong person.
I am a strong hero. I am a strong person, and I don't have to be a male or woman in order to be a strong person.
Yeah.
I think it was like the message was a little, because you don't go to see a Marvel movie to see all these nice strong men and all that. That's not your motivation. You just want to go see heroes kick butt. And so, which, yes, as a woman, we do want better heroes, stronger, smarter, more capable heroes, for us to emulate and whatnot. But I don't want to go into a movie being preached to, like, look at this awesome woman. She's awesome because she's a woman. It's like, I kind of want just the whole person, the whole, like, equality thing, She's a person who's smart, competent, strong and resilient. And I appreciated that. And she just happens to be a woman as well.
Yeah, it wasn't the forefront of what the movie was about, and they're not shoving it down your throat, which was good. I think probably we can jump into spoilers now.
Move into spoilers. So again, jump to here if you don't want to hear spoilers. There wasn't a love story.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
So just what we were talking about with the whole pushing the woman thing down your throat was in Wonder Woman, there's a love story. There's a dressing up montage. Very, very much.
I have to wear a pretty dress because I'm a woman.
You see that in romantic comedies and stuff. So those Wonder Woman felt more sexist in a way. And the cool thing I liked about Captain Marvel was it started out a little bit that way. As they're building up, they show you her background and her history of men in her life telling her she can't fly, she can't do this, you can't race, all these things. Because
these are male dominated fields. You're a woman, you're just not going to get, and with the racing thing, that kind of like, my aunt, one of her in-laws is one of the Wallace brothers who follows NASCAR, they know who they are. So, I guess, one of the relations, woman, Chrissy, in NASCAR and is racing and everything like that. And she's making milestones and she's doing great. And I know there's some other, like I think Danica and stuff, there's some other female racers, very few, but I can understand like when, back when she probably would have been a child, women in the racing and women in other areas is you're just pushed down and forced out. As opposed to now, I think we're getting better in the atmosphere. Like, yeah, women can get in. There's still going to be that prejudice that you're still a woman, you're not going to be as good. But
so it started off with that.
Yeah.
And you're kind of wondering, oh, is this going to be another one? It wasn't. Like they mention it a little bit at the beginning
because it made sense. It honestly made sense.
Yeah. And then by the end, it wasn't that, oh, it's a woman and strong. It's like, no, it's a human thing. Mm-hmm. So because she was talking like, oh, you can't get up, and then she's the bad guy's like, oh, it's because you're only human, and she's like, yeah, I am human, and then it shows her getting up again and again and again.
She fell off the racetrack. She got up every time she got knocked down. She got back up, which spoke to me, like especially the bike when she fell off the bike and got up. I was just like, that was a memory of my dad had of me learning how to ride a bike that impressed him so much that no matter how many times I fell down, I got back up and eventually learned how to ride the bike.
So that was a cool thing to do. Mm-hmm. I liked that change.
I love that.
It was a good change.
That string of her falling down and then getting back up every single time, and then I loved that. That was probably my favorite moment in the movie.
The thing that caught me a little bit at the beginning, you as well, is when they're doing the comic Flash thing as they're pulling out to show Marvel. Usually they'll show Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk,
all the Marvel clips.
In this one, it showed Stan Lee in all of the pictures, but it still showed the names of the heroes as they came by, and so he was the whole thing, and it made me laugh a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. It was nice though. It was a nice tribute.
It was great, and even his cameo in there. Yeah. I'm wondering if there was going to be in the second Infinity War if he managed to make a cameo in that one or in the Spider-Man one.
Possibly.
And it's going to be so sad the next Marvel movie that comes out that doesn't have him. I'm probably going to cry. I don't care how funny it is because the credits ended and they're like Stan Lee and I was crying. I had to like shove my scarf in front of my face so I can like get my sobs out without disturbing everyone around me. Mm-hmm. So for me, the movie started out like down here because of that tribute, which I don't know. I think it's a Stan Lee thing. I never met him, but he just.
He seems like a jolly old man.
He's the grandpa that you always want, the dad that you want, and because of the way interviews I see him, just how he is, I did have a little bit of like my dad with him, and my dad passed less than a year ago, and so that's still raw. So seeing the tribute, having the emotions, the way I see Stan Lee and the way I see my dad, yeah, I was crying. But it was sweet. It was well done.
Yes.
It was well done.
As for other spoilers, there's not really too much. It wasn't predictable per se, but it wasn't. It didn't do anything crazy and grand. There were one or two parts where you're like, okay, yeah. Like in the beginning, he's training her. The little fight. Oh, you need to not give into your emotions.
This
and all
is
this.
Jude Law training Brie Larson.
Jude Law is training her. And he's like, you need to be in control of your emotions and not use your powers. And if you can do that and beat me, then you'll be in control and you'll know what you're doing. And then at the end, they're about to, fight again. And he puts away his weapons. And he's like, come on at me. Show me your full power. Prove to me. And she just does the Indiana Jones thing where she just blasts him. And so you kind of saw that coming, but it was still.
Well, and I loved her line, like, I don't have to prove anything to you. I loved it. Because Jude Law, when we're in the spoilers area, he actually is the real bad guy. I realized that in the non-spoiler area. I'm like, oh wait, hold on. I had to back up a bit, but so he was the one who, but it wasn't like still not a clean and clear bad guy. Yeah. It was like, yeah, he saved her life. He brought her to, back to Kree or Hala or whatever, and made her, and trained her. Kind of, I think they might have messed with her memories, manipulated her so she can be the weapon they need. But it still was because that's their ideology, and they want to win a war, and they want to,
Yeah, and this is of course, the cinematic universe is different than the comic book universe. So, if you know the comic books going into it, it's going to be different. We're not going to spoil one or too many things, because there's one or two twists you might like or you might not like. But just know that there are going to be things that are different. Because I noticed them as well. I'm like, oh, that's not how the comic books are. Okay, that's fine. But it was still enjoyable.
I don't read the comics.
Yeah, it wasn't too out there. It wasn't too safe. It was a nice middle ground for what they were doing with the story. And
I love how Blockbuster shows up.
Yeah.
What is the time period you think? Like, what is it? Like late 80s, early 90s?
No, it was 95.
95? Okay.
Yeah, because it takes place in 89 for her backstory, and then there's a time cut to 95 for 6 years later.
Yeah. So nothing says old like showing Blockbuster, which is so sad. I used to work at Blockbuster.
Yeah, and I worked at Hollywood Video. You'll also see dial-up internet, which was fun. And loading, and that scene was hilarious. They put in the disc to load things, and of course, Fury and the human, like they're just there. That's normal. But Brie, or Captain Marvel and the other, the Skrull were like, they were just so impatient. Like, what is going on? Oh, it's just loading. Da 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 da. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that's good for now. I hope you guys. So it's that point here. So we're done with spoilers. Yeah. We'll do, I guess, final recommendations. You recommend it? I do. How many stars? 4 out of 5? 5 out of 5? I will give it a cat out of 5. I don't know what that means. You'll find out when you see the movie. Oh, I guess I don't remember. Don't worry about it. What about you? I don't think I would give it 5 out of 5. I think I would have to see it again to see if it qualifies for 5 out of 5. My overall impression is it was good. I would recommend people seeing it, and it's a movie you want to see in theater. Yeah, for sure. The screen is, and just the way just her transitions from the beginning to the end and everything that they do with her. You'd want to see that in the theater, so I would recommend going to see it. So right now I'm going to stick with the 4 out of 5. I think I want to see it again, see if maybe it would get up any more than that, because there were just a couple little things here and there, but I liked it. And again, going back to how different from Marvel movies, I think it was the pacing was different. It wasn't like, I don't know, Marvel movies seem like do fast. Sometimes, yeah. And it let characters develop and interact, and it just felt like a sci-fi movie that was more grounded in reality than any of the other Marvels. I think that to a degree, sure. Yeah, I think it felt more real than any of the others. So yeah, go see it. All right, thanks. Abner, did you give it pause up? You didn't see it. He's just gonna sleep. All right, that's it. Bye. Snip, snip.
Transition noises.
Ta-da!
Oh no, it's gonna rain.